everybody. August 2nd, 2011. Well, President Obama signed the bill into law today, and we averted a catastrophic default for the United States of America. And everything will be fine now. Let's go a few trillion more into debt. And, everything will be fine. They fixed the problem, and the crisis is over. Well, we know that's not true. The dollar's going to get punished. Actually, today there was a little safe haven buying of the dollar. It went up a little bit. Gold had a big day today. Silver had a nice rise. I believe that this happened on the heels of a downgrade. There's been threats of downgrading the AAA stellar credit rating that the U.S. has down to AA, and I believe that's what forced the precious metals up today, because even though they averted the crisis, there's still fears of a downgrade. So gold went up $37, saw it up to $1,660, and silver was up nicely, $1.60, up closing in on $41 an ounce. So all the people talking about a gold bubble gonna bust and gonna burst and all this stuff over the last couple of years. People have been talking gold bubble since it was probably 800, 700. Well, they can just keep talking their bubble, because I believe we're just going to see gold and silver keep moving on up. That's, trying to revalue themselves to the falling dollar. That's what this is all about. It's about the collapsing dollar. And I also wanted to talk about a central bank gold buying. There's been some recent purchases come to light overnight. South Korea said that they added 25 tons of gold. And, this is at an all-time high price, record high price that they're buying this gold. They want to get out of the U.S. dollar. Not totally, but they want to have some of their reserves in real money. They don't want to just be holding the dollar. And, that's one of our major partners, South Korea, and they're saying, well, I don't want to be holding so many US dollars, so we're moving into gold. For the first time in 13 years, they bought gold, pushing them up to just above 39 tons. And also Thailand said that they raised their gold from 3.5 up to 4 million ounces of gold over the last couple months, raised it 15%. You have to, I've been doing updates on this central bank gold purchases. You can look at all my videos. I have a few updates on Russia. They've been buying a lot of gold the last couple of years. China's been buying a lot of gold. In 2010, central banks became net buyers of gold for the first time in 2 decades. They've been selling gold for a long time, but now, they've become net buyers, and I think that has a lot to say about the reserve currency of the world. Connecting the dots, we just have to see that, if the central banks are buying gold, aside from what Bernanke claims that gold's not money, and, saying that, well, South Korea, what they just did here is traditional. Well, it's more than traditional. They're acquiring real money as a reserve, because just 13 days away from the 40th anniversary of this whole fiat money paper experiment we've been on. The dollar's as good as gold. Well, that statement hasn't been true since August 15th, 1971. So anyway, we have central banks continuing to buy gold, and South Korea's purchase moves them from 57th country with the most gold in the world up to the 45th country. So there's only 44 countries with more gold than South Korea now. And a couple recent, I thought I'd update, recap on a few large gold purchases that central banks have made over the last couple of years. In 2009, if you recall, India made a huge purchase from the IMF, 200 tons, which gold is around $1,000 an ounce then. So at 1660, that was a huge buy. You know, I think they paid somewhere around $7 billion for that purchase, and where gold's at now, you know, that's about 10.7 billion. So they made a clean 3.7 billion thereabouts in 2 years. That's not a nice, you know, that's not a bad little profit, maintaining their wealth rather than just having that sit in US dollars that would, you know, have gone below 7 billion. The purchasing power of that might be, you know, in the range of 3 to 5 billion. So that was a good move by India. Mexico this year, February, made a huge purchase, 93.3 tons of gold. Let me see if I can remember. It brought them up to like 100.9 tons, I believe. They only had 7 tons. They ranked 67th in the world, and they're up to 34th country now with the most gold in the world. I think gold was around $1,500 an ounce when they made their purchase. So their $4.5 billion purchase is now worth somewhere around $5 billion. So they made a cool $500 million. I mean, this is what we're seeing. This is what we're seeing over the last couple of years. We're seeing central banks being net buyers of gold, and I believe that we're going to see this trend continue. And I don't see why the average investor shouldn't be protecting themselves in the same way that the central banks are doing. But of course, that's my opinion, and you know, I'm not qualified to give financial advice. So if you want financial advice, go find a financial advisor who's licensed, and if you're lucky, maybe he'll talk about precious metals, but I doubt it.